What's up, guys? It is Sam here, coming to you live from where I'm at. And tonight, I wanted to talk about Andrew Yang in the insanely crazy guerrilla marketing tactic that he just did. Or it could be a strategy if we take a look at it. Because that was some very, very well thought out guerrilla marketing. So first I wanted to touch on what is guerrilla marketing, give an example of what it is, why it's so effective. We're going to dive into that with the numbers, but essentially you get a crazy, insane amount of exposure. Well, not necessarily, in this case we do, but not in every case. It's just getting exposure for substantially less than what that type of exposure would have cost if you had to do the work or if you had to pay to get that amount of exposure. So we're going to dive into some of those things to see how that exposure translated in terms of YouTube searches, Google searches for the term Andrew Yang, the impact on his website in terms of how it ranks on a global basis, and the hashtag usage over the last 24 hours of the hashtag Andrew Yang. Then we're going to take a look over the last 48 hours, and we're going to look at the total number of views on his channel and the total number of subscriber growth and compare that to the average, because this is insane. And then lastly, talking about underestimating the data. I want to just give an example of that, and I actually experienced this today right before making this video, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So if you want to watch all that fun stuff, stay tuned. If it's your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and if you're a returning viewer, it's good to freaking see you. Don't forget to press that thumbs up button. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. Well, first, what the fuck is guerrilla marketing? So, guerrilla marketing, according to Wikipedia, guerrilla marketing is an advertisement strategy in which a company uses surprise or unconventional interactions in order to promote a product or service. It is a type of publicity, the term popularized by this dude here. So if you've never experienced guerrilla marketing, I mean, there's different tactics that have been used, and sometimes they're super creative and very, very thoughtful. And they're effective, but I don't think I've seen, well, yes, there's been some crazy times too where there's been very, very effective guerrilla marketing, but we're not going to jump into those ones. We're just going to talk about this one tonight. So to give you an example of guerrilla marketing, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this YouTube video. Clearly it is not mine. I don't own it, so these guys, this YouTube channel over here does, I'm assuming, because we're watching on their channel. We're just going to listen to about a minute of Andrew Yang's, I think this is his opening statement at the third debate here the other day. Today's 9/13, so the debate was yesterday in the evening. So this is his opening remarks, and then we're gonna listen to this, and then we're gonna get into it. Okay?
In America today, everything revolves around the almighty dollar.
Hopefully you can
our
hear
schools,
this.
Our hospitals, our media, even our government. It's why we don't trust our institutions anymore. We have to get our country working for us again instead of the other way around. We have to see ourselves as the owners and shareholders of this democracy rather than inputs into a giant machine. When you donate money to a presidential campaign, what happens? The politician spends the money on TV ads and consultants, and you hope it works out. It's time to trust ourselves more than our politicians. That's why I'm going to do something unprecedented tonight. My campaign will now give a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for an entire year to 10 American families, someone watching this at home right now. If you believe that you can solve your own problems better than any politician, go to yang2020.com and tell us how $1,000 a month will help you do just that. This is how we will get our country working for us again, the American people.
Alright, so, whoops, I didn't mean to open that shit up. Okay, so you see the opening remarks, right? I think they were that was a very good opening. Just listening to that, the delivery of that in the pace of delivery. There's a I feel like a gregarious way of delivering something that's entertaining or holds people's interest, and I think he had a good bit of that in there instead of just boilerplate crap. But that's all subjective. I know that what's more interesting is understanding the data to see what's behind it, and like Sam, get to the fucking point. Well, let's jump over here to the TV rating in terms of the total number of viewers for this. So right here in the middle, we've got September 12th, right? The debate was from 8 to 11 p.m., and there was 14.04 million people. So when you have that much attention in one spot to do something as so thoughtful, to be like, I'm really want to win, so I'm gonna do what it takes. I think has a very I like the sound of that. I like the feel of somebody who's willing to go the extra step to, hey, there's all this exposure on me. I need to take advantage of this, right? He's got 14 million people watching him. He knows he's an underdog. He knows he needs to really make a difference to even get, like, this is going to be the most diverse. This is going to be the most diverse election we've probably ever had in our entire history. Like, I see the field probably leveling out as time goes on, with a couple people dropping off, but I don't see necessarily it dropping down to one or two. It just seems like it's going to, potentially everybody's going to gain a little bit of steam while maybe Joe Biden drops out. I don't know, but kind of interesting. Anyways, so you have so many eyeballs on him to do something so, like, from an underdog, to get this attention and just, like, fucking, that was a good tactic. So why, right? Because of this. Like, if you can get it in front of that many people and you just ask them for money, like, they'll give you money. And I'm sure that you can convert that into more than what it would cost, right? That's basically $120,000 that he's going to give away. Like, maybe say $10,000 worth of administrative fees to figure out how to do it efficiently. Right, so figure $30,000 there. So a total of $150,000. Like, I mean, just probably pretty easy to get from 14 million people, even if you just get a tiny little amount. So we wonder if maybe that actually works, right? You're like, Sam, this is all well and good, but those ratings on TV are garbage. You don't know what you're talking about. Why am I talking with an accent? I have no idea. What are you doing? Okay, so, well, TV ratings I don't think are super necessarily representative of the most accurate data. I think it's just a lot of estimates, kind of like polling data. So let's jump over to the biggest website in the entire world and look at some of the data on that website around what happened. So specifically, we're on Google Trends, and we're going to look at the search volume on Google for the term Andrew Yang. We're going to start with 90 days out, and you can see here there's a couple spikes here. When was this one? I think this was around the first debate, and that was probably around the second debate. I'm pretty sure. And as you can see here, from the first debate to the second debate, there wasn't a tremendous increase in search volume. It looked like about the same. Then leading up, it started to ramp. We have a jump at the second debate. However, the new level point is substantially higher than look over here on this side versus in this middle section. So there's a tremendous amount of search volume just on average overall at the 90-day mark. Let's come into 30 days. Excuse me. All right, well, this isn't super helpful for Sam. Let's go to 7-day. That just looked like he was stagnant over 7 days. Here's something interesting, right? We come over here. Look at this. What is up with this, guys? So this is part of the effect from the guerrilla marketing. As you can see, I'm guessing that he probably said something towards the beginning of if those are his opening remarks, which I believe they are. This is at 8 o'clock. So either, I don't know, maybe the timing difference because I'm on the East Coast. I think this may have been on the West Coast. I have no idea if the timing was different for this versus like what is here. I'm in the East Coast, so this might be on East Coast time, so that there might be an hour or so off on here. But this coincidentally ties right in with his opening debate. There's a tremendous spike of volume here, and as you can see, it's not a ton of time yet, but the new high over here looks even higher than over here. So this is the 7-day. Remember, we saw the first step up in volume of his interest. Now this is probably the second step up in terms of average volume of interest in him over time. But let's actually go to 90 days and take a look at the YouTube search volume and see if we see anything different. No, it looks pretty much the same. It looks pretty much the same, except for the rise of search volume doesn't look as apparent on the YouTube search volume at 90 days. Let's go into the 30 see if that tells anything different. Nope, pretty much the same. Almost looks like it's actually lost a little bit of interest over the last 30 days. Let's come into 7-day here and see if, oh, what? Bam, look at that fucking shit. That is enormous. This is the amount, remember, this is 14 million people who are like actually interested in politics, not just like 14 random fuckers. This is like 14 million people that probably have some slight modicum of interest, look it up, interest in politics. So to be able to convert a little bit of that traffic into money or exposure, like through social platforms or just getting awareness of who you are as a human when you're not ranking at the top on polling data, is just tremendous to take advantage of that. So let's go over next to his website, and I think this is kind of evident. I remember first taking a look at this when it was right around 22,000. So this is the global ranking of Andrew Yang's website. As you can see, let's take a look here. Where do I have his site? Right up here. You can see here, and the site is Alexa. It's an Amazon website, so I don't know if this has any correlation with Alexa, the AI, or not. But if anybody has any info on that, let me know down below in the comments. I'm curious. So we came down page here on the analysis, and we see just a steady upward trend. And I had originally started following around 22,000. So about a month ago exactly yesterday. And his is just steadily gaining in popularity. But one thing I did notice is that over here we have the average amount of time that somebody spends on his site. So not just the total amount of time, because that's surely growing with the increase in popularity of his site. Because if you come over here too, even in the US, it's ranked in the 25th hundredth of most in terms of popularity on all sites in the US. Like, that's pretty tremendous. The amount of time people spend on his site has increased. So when I started tracking it, it was 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and now it's 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So people are actually trying to find more information about Andrew Yang because they're spending more time on his site, which is kind of interesting. And so, like, in the last 24 hours, right? Like, the debate would have ended about 24 hours ago. What we've got is, because it's 11:10 right now on the 13th. So this is a graph of Andrew Yang. You can see up here at the top of the screen, we have Andrew Yang. This is the hashtag. So this is tracking the usage of this hashtag over the last 24 hours. And look at this. This is 338 people. Or somebody who tweets multiple times, or somebody who tweets 338 times, but more than likely it's somewhere in a number between, maybe a low of 100 and a high of like 310 or something like that, But in either way, this is per hour, you know what I mean? They're steadily going down, but like there's a shitload of people that are talking about you. So what does that do, right? Well, what happens when if you like this video, if you took this video and you shared it on your social media, I would appreciate it. Hopefully somebody could learn from this perspective. But if 4 or 5 people did that and they put that and you shared this video in front of your audience of like who you know, maybe like 1 or 2 from each person, maybe 1 from each person would come back and watch something, and maybe one of them would share it with their audience. audience. So the exposure from this kind of thing has like a multiplicative, say that 6 times fast, multiplicative effect where it just kind of adds on its substantial rate, and there's a super long tail on this stuff. So it happened basically throughout today, and there's still like, even at the super low point, there was 2 people that were talking about him in the hashtag in that hour, and it's been up right now. This looks like it's lagged by 2. Oh, it says Chicago time, so this is. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how much additional boost, because this is still going to be playing out over the next week. Like, people are still talking about him if it's happening in the realm of like what's going on, which is going to increase his exposure. So let's now go over to his YouTube channel and let's take a look at some very, very interesting stuff, right? So we're going to take a look at the 12th and the 13th here. And let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easier for you guys to see, hopefully. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, on the left-hand side, we have subscribers, and on the right, we have video views. Now, come back down here. We have the average, right, daily views of 444 total in terms of subscribers, and about 25,500 views per day on average. Now let's take a look at the total number of subscribers we've got right here, 625 and 735. Both substantially higher than this, and added together are probably more than 3 times. Let's see, 7 plus 6 is what? 13. How many times? So yeah, like probably 3 times greater, a substantial increase in the amount of subscribers she's gotten in the last 2 days just from this one tactic. This is insane, and I haven't even got to the money portion of this yet. So on the total number of views, we have 60,000 views and 76,000 views. So an increase from yesterday to today, which makes sense. Because it would have only happened in that last couple hours of the day, depending on what part of the country people were in and whatnot. But look at the average over the last 30 days, 25,000. Look at what's happened over the last 2 days. Like, that's, what is that, 135,000 views in 2 days versus 50,000? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, that's 3 times as many views. That's a huge increase in exposure. Huge increase in exposure. So, if I pull up my calculator, okay, there we go. So, we've got my calculator over here. And remember that there was, say, 14 million, all right? This is how many was just from the TV channel, right? But there was multiple other instances where he was also talked about on late night TV and different podcasts and YouTube channels, but on a lot of different popular. I mean, I'm assuming, I have no idea. I don't own TV, so like I don't know, whatever normal people watch for like television shows where they have a talking head. I saw a video on YouTube where they had mentioned that 3 or 4 of those had been talking about him. So that increases that exposure even more. Just the sheer using his tactic to drive people to his site, like that's just crazy. So let's just say that like he got 10 times this amount of exposure, which maybe not, right? Let's just say he got even 3 times. So let's say he got, wait a second, he was at 14 million, right? 14 million. There we go, 14 million. And say it was just, what, 3 times the exposure? It's 42 million impressions to get in front of people. That's incredible. That's insane. And that doesn't even include the long tail from just that one thing. Now think about that for a second. That 1 minute clip, right? We watched this. This clip is 1 minute and 9 seconds long. And that like 45 seconds that he was talking and had that very nicely put together because I can see who he would be talking to. how people feel that they're not a part of the country necessarily and just a cog in some type of wheel. And I can see that message hitting very hard with a lot of people. So that's such a crazy, awesome move. Now, I wanted to talk about a little bit just money, but before we jump into that, what I wanted to show you was I was on Instagram earlier today, and this came up in my feed. Andrew Yang, 2020. Let me turn up the brightness all the way on this biatch. Okay. So we've got Andrew Yang here. We've got an ad on Instagram for Andrew Yang. And it says, enter for your chance to win $1,000 a month. And then in the fine print, we're giving away $1,000 a month to help you live your American dream. And it has like dollar signs and then a Yang 2020 on it in small fine print, and then there's got a cartoon character of him drawing or whatever. So what I did was I wanted to see what was going on, right? Like, he's already responding to this, like taking advantage of this additional exposure by amplifying the money that he has, even though he hasn't had the amount of money raised that these other candidates have. If you want to check out that video, go back to the channel, look at the rankings by donations. So he doesn't even have a ton of money, like a lot of money raised, but like not, Pete Buttigieg or whatever his name is has like 30 million, and like Elizabeth Warren has like 40 million or something, and some of these other people have substantial amount. I mean, he's got like 5 million, so it's a lot of money, but it's just not like other people. So you got to make your money work more effectively, and that's what we see right here. Is that how not only does he get that exposure, but let's kind of tie this in with what we're doing right now. So what I did is I clicked on that link and I signed up. Right, I put in my email address for the $1,000 a month. And by the way, I predicted all this in my video on YouTube about him, and I said that they should be doing this. My YouTube analysis on Andrew Yang's YouTube channel. So if you go back to my channel and you search that in the search term, once you go to my channel box, you can see that video and you can watch that. I predicted it a couple weeks ago. That's what they should be doing with the campaign money, because you're going to get crazy amount of rewards. Like, instead of just giving it to Facebook, like, you can give it to these people and get exposure around that and people talking about it. Plus, you get the people talking about it to their community and just be like, holy shit, this dude just gave me $1,000 a month for like talking and interviewing and that kind of thing, because they can have interviews and tell stories about how it's impacted their life. Like, this is all the stuff I went into a couple weeks ago that they should be doing. So hopefully they actually execute effectively on some of these other strategies. Anyways, so what happens is all this exposure, right, for in like virtually nothing in cost. And what do you do to like take advantage? Like, Sam, all this exposure is great. What the fuck does that mean? Well, all that exposure means money. And what do we have here? We've got what do we say, 42 million potential impressions. Let's just say we got 1% to head over to his website, and then maybe say 1% of that to donate. And I think the average donation is around $30. So that's $126,000, and that just pays for it by itself, plus $6,000 of administrative fees, plus, as we mentioned, the underestimating of the data. This allows him to get not only money raised, it's going to pay for itself, like through the extra exposure. That's just doesn't include, like, now you have all these emails. Like, if you had, what did we say that number was? 42 million roughly times 0.01 went over to the website, right? That's a huge increase in the website. So and we check back in a couple of days if you want to. Press that subscribe button. I'm sure I'll be making another video on the impact, because I think there's going to be a big impact on his website traffic in terms of the increase in popularity. Because right over here, he's got 2,536,000 in the U.S., 100th in the U.S., and 15,800 roughly in the world. So I think that as we see the data coming out over the next day on here, we're going to see a big impact. So what happened after I put in an email, and why is it not the money in the data so important, because once you have all these email addresses, you email them. Pretty shocking, dude. What? You have an email address, you email it? That's correct. And what happens is you get even more exposure and you get even more money because people click on your links. So let's see what email looks like. So we've got, hopefully, I'm trying to see if there's any private information here. I guess it's a little bit too late. But all these over here just look like they're a bunch of fucking 1-800 numbers trying to call me, probably a scam. So that's my Google Voice inbox. Anyway, okay, so this is the email that I got after I punched in my thing. So what do we have here? If you have all that traffic going, there's going to be a portion of them that donate, right? And then they get this email. And there's going to be a portion of the people who donated who get this email who are going to click on the donations and go back and donate. Like, it might only be a couple, but there's going to be some. And this just building awareness to talk about these people are going to get this and like realize that this is the first time in their entire life they've given $30 to a candidate, and because they want to win the $1,000, like, they tell their friend about it. Like, I've never given $1,000. I've never given $30 to a donation before, and this guy, like, I gave him $30 because I support what he's doing, blah, 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 and they're going to tell their friends about him. And then they're going to learn about him, and some of them are going to donate. So this is a very, very multiplicative effect that I think it was such a ninja move to do some guerrilla marketing like this, and the effects of this are going to play out over the next couple of weeks. If you guys have any thoughts on this, let me know down below in the comments. Like, this strategy this is awesome. That was an amazing, amazing move. I think whoever, if that was thoughtful or just off the cuff, I'm not sure. But if somebody had actually had the forethought and put that out there, that's an A+ move. Like, kudos. Like, more attention should be brought to that, and you should get paid more. Excellent move. Anyways, if you agree or found any value in this video, press that thumbs up button. It helps the YouTube algorithm and exposes this video to more people. If you want to get this message out, share this video with somebody. It helps the channel out, just like we were talking about in this video. That exposure helps out a lot. I would appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to see other videos like this in the future and even better videos. So definitely press that bell notification so you can see the new videos plus the even better videos as they come out. If you want to say what's up, jump over to Instagram. Link is in the description. Say what's up on Instagram just like that. What's up? We'll get back to you. Might take a little bit of time, but I will get back to you. But I do post a lot more over there and a lot more about fitness. So if that is interesting to you, jump over to there and say what's good. Appreciate you, and peace out.